Yeah. So, Randy, first of all, thank you so much for offering to talk to us and share your experiences of the last year or so. You've had a bit of a interesting year. So, and you've had a lot going on. We've just been talking now about
Right.
about it. So, I am really, really grateful that you've given us your time. So, I think we'll just crack straight on if that's okay. So,
Yep.
first of all, just for people watching, just give us a bit of background about you and your business, where you are, and stuff like that.
From like the beginning up to now, or just
Well,
a little bit?
you can skip your childhood, but yeah, I mean, just
Okay,
just
that's when it started. No, yeah, for the most part, let's say almost 6 years ago, we started the business. I took over, a small chunk that my dad had going on. Got into it, went full force. We're doing really good. Hired some bad guys, which in turn bad business, and it got really rough. Restructured a little bit over a year, and it beat me up. Like, I just didn't want to do it anymore, and that's all I've ever wanted to do. So when we met last year, I was debating, do I keep going, which I had to, because I have to provide for my family, or do I just give it up and go work for somebody because I could probably make top dollar. Um, that was a year ago. So in that year, I went from just me to current day. I have two girls running an office. I have four guys out in the field, minus myself because I'm not out in the field. And I have three install guys that are working on some pretty big projects right now. We've implemented all kinds of new procedures. We're jumping in with Service Titan so we can measure everything, and we're dropping a huge marketing campaign starting next month, and we're on the road to dominate the area.
okay. Anything else?
Not as a general overview.
So whereabouts in the world are you? Just tell us whereabouts, the size of your market, and what your plans are for your location.
Yeah, so we're Colorado Springs, Colorado. We're population almost 1 million in the city. Kind of mountain area. It's a hard market. If I pulled up every licensed contractor in town, residentially, there's a little over 2,700 contractors.
No way.
Yeah, licensed. Now you could probably triple that by unlicensed guys, but
Yes. Okay. So thank you for that history. So when we met, I wouldn't say that you looked very different, because you look a bit gangster successful now. I remember having that conversation with you. I thought, well, you physically changed. So you're at the point where you were thinking, I've had enough. So, but you stayed doing it. Now, what was your, I know you said that you needed to keep going, but what kept you going? What was the final thing you thought, no, I'm going to give this one more go?
It's all mindset, right? So, I mean, I had to keep going because, I'm providing for a family. But the change came in all the mindset on how I looked at everything. Instead of trying to focus so much on, building a business and making money, we went to focusing on, myself and just providing a service and let the money come in, and try to give every customer we touch, very unique white glove treatment.
Okay. So again, I remember the conversation that I had with you, that you'd had this epiphany almost about I've been trying to do too much, and you really simplified it, and you were really talking with confidence about, no, that's my price, that's what I'm going to do, almost take it or leave it attitude. Yeah. So just talk to me about that. Was that about the time that you thought, right, I'm going to make the shift, and that's when you saw the big gains in your business?
Yeah, because we're looking at, we all start off and we all want to make money and we want the job. So we're bidding jobs and we're taking them low, and we're sacrificing, what we need for us, our families, and our businesses to grow. That big shift to me was, how much value can we provide to a customer, and then price it. And that's the price, you know. And for me, I'm that dedicated, like I have to serve, right? I'm a helper. I like to, you know, make people happy. So that was really hard for me to get over I want to make you happy just to have this one customer to say, I got a customer today, but to go, you know, you're really not a good fit for us, right? We're adding tons more value. We're adding more product. We're making sure the house is, you know, clean and healthy. We're not just repairing, you know, equipment, and adding that value and sticking to that price. And it feels good to walk away and say, no, we're not going to discount that, or no, we're not going to beat the lowest bid, because you're getting so much more. I've probably over the last 12 months had maybe 2 people that didn't hire us over the price.
Right.
Right. And we didn't want them as customers anyways.
No. Okay. So you've taken price out of, because price is a big conversation piece with people,
right?
Especially when you are smaller, because you want to win. You're kind of going in almost on your knees, desperate, please, please, please give me the work, right?
Right.
So you lost that mindset and just went for serve, 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 and said, this is my price. And you've basically won 100% of everything that you've gone for. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a handful of them that we didn't get, just, you know, because they were price shopping and they weren't looking at that value, or, you know, maybe we were changing a lot of stuff and we didn't pitch it properly or something like that. Cause I spent most of the year doing a lot of, let's test it, right? We'll bid something this way. We'll offer this. We'll see what this is, to find that sweet spot that meant for us. You know, when we go back a few years, and if I go, hey, we're going to do a furnace and we're the cheapest guy in town and it's $2,200, that customer, it becomes the biggest problem and headache that we have for years and years to come, right? To where now we're pricing and I'm going, hey, to be the size of business I want to be and where I need to be, these are the KPIs I got to meet. These are the prices we got to meet. These are the billable hours. And this is the price. I'm willing to accept those problems that I may get from a customer because we've priced it for that. The first couple walking away from going, man, I could have probably knocked $2,000 off of that and still made money and, you know, done the job. But I slept better knowing we priced it right and we gave them a fair value, and we're giving them so much in return that if they don't accept it, then it's okay with me.
Okay. So just on your numbers, I want to come back to that thinking, right, about when you triggered that. So just going back to price and turnover, before you were thinking like that, your business was a bit broken and running you. Then you had this change of thinking. So what have you shifted from as far as numbers go, Randy, from what you were turning over before to what you think you're going to turn over now, as far as the total turnover of your business?
Right. So over the last 6 years with just me or 1 or 2 guys, my best year was probably that 380, 400 mark, right? And that was the majority of it by myself. Right now, this year, with still a couple months to go, I'm sitting about 760.
Okay.
Then we just signed another deal, so we'll be over 800 this year.
Okay. And what's the deal that you've just signed?
Just for a building build out for the county that we're a part of here. Our roofing guy told the county that he was going to do the roof, but he wasn't going to use their HVAC guy. He was going to use his, which is us. We went over, we bid it out, and it's about $98,000, and it'll take us 3 days.
Okay, wow. And did you not close a deal? You had $135,000 week. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
last week. Yeah.
So,
last week.
So whoa. So in the last 2 weeks, you've closed $250,000 worth of business.
Yep. Yeah. So the other one, the 135,000, we've been dealing with them since March. They kept changing their mind and everything, and we finally closed it out, and we were probably 60,000 higher than what we were on our original bid.
Right.
And we were just like, take it or leave it, and they took it. So, that'll be a couple week project, that just because of time delays on equipment and stuff like that. But it feels good to know that, those guys got a couple weeks worth of work and we got plenty of money to deal with. So now we can take that money, we can grow off, and we can start the year off really good.
Okay. So when you had, this is what I'm interested in is, at what point did you have this mindset shift around, what I've been doing is a broken business model, and really what I need to do is change your approach to business? Was that part of, what you got from your relationship with us? Did that come from somewhere else? Just talk to us a little bit about how that happened. Was that all in the mash?
Yeah, it's a combination of a lot of things, right? I've always been that business type guy, and my way is the best way. And I found out, real hard that I'm not the best way. So realizing that if I expand my circle of, knowledge and mindset courses and stuff like that, especially with your guys, the mindset is, it's the best thing you can do. Everything else will fall into play. So for me, a lot of that stuff and putting myself in positions where I'm learning a lot more about myself and the business and the little things that we're missing and how we should be billing and what we should be doing. That's kind of the aha, when you sit there and you go, well, that didn't seem as hard as I thought it was going to be. Right. And being able to overcome that. And then, of course, having guys in play, right? Like when we first originally talked, I'm that personality. I'm shotgun wide. Like an idea pops in, I'm running, we're 100 miles an hour, and I'm grabbing everything I can. So for me to reevaluate and sit down and go, this is where we're going, and this is all we're focusing on, and move towards that till we accomplish it. And then say, well, it could have been better if we did this, then try it. And that's all we focus on. So taking each little part of everything we do, the way we answer phone calls, how the phone calls are handled, how service calls are routed, everything, and how we're bidding, how fast we're responding. And once it starts piling on top of itself, it's night and day.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that conversation with you when you first came in. Actually, was I'm shocked and I'm all over the place.
Right.
And I remember I had to have a stern word with you about that. I said, really, you've got to. The focus is the answer. So how did you? Because that's a pivotal decision to focus. So
right.
How did you do that? What was the trick that you actually used to get that focus?
For me, not trying to do everything the business needed at one time. So, we do marketing guys handle that. And, we set up calls and the girls handle that, and stop trying to have that. I want control of everything and trying to do it all myself and let other people do it. And it's amazing. I mean, when I'm sitting here and I'm out running calls and I'm out doing bids and I'm answering phones and I'm trying to do marketing and I'm doing all this stuff myself because I wasn't priced right to begin with to be able to afford those things, to sit back and go, hey, I'm going to eat it for the next couple months. Hey, Mom, we're going to be tight. We're not going to have a lot of extra money, and force that money down to having goals in the office and proper systems and somebody doing the marketing that knows how to do it. I can go off and do what I need to do and go home.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about it. So yeah, not trying to have control over everything and spending the money where it's valued at.
Yeah, I think that's key. So this is an interesting question that I know people will be interested in, is how long did you have to eat bread and sawdust for until it paid out? Because you're going to have to suck it up, aren't you, a little bit? So how long was that? That's a scary decision to make, but how long till it paid off?
It was less than 2 months for me.
Okay. All right. So now you've got, you've made the decision to go for value. So what did that mean to your price? So, so if you were pricing at $1,000, let's just say, what did he put your price up to? With $2,000, did you double your price? What did you do? What's the kind of the calculation that you did around making it worth for you? Or did you just work back from how did you do it? Just tell me how you did it.
So for years I always spent going, hey, this is what everybody else in town's doing, so we're going to be right in with them. the big, and you're billing out. So let's say, we go do a job and we're billing $89 an hour for labor, and you're kind of trying to do a flat rate system, but you're still doing that time and material, to where we went and we said, hey, this is what everybody else is doing. So we're going to triple whatever warranties they're doing on new equipment. We're going to quadruple whatever repair warranties they're doing. We're going to do complete home assessments, and we're going to do it all on a flat rate basis. And then we go, all my expenses and where I want to be and how we're going to grow, this is the money we make. We bill it all out into a billable hour. Now, of course, we're not 100% efficient, so we add all that stuff in. Right now, we're billing at $34 a billable hour, which is, almost 4 times the amount of what we were last year. And,
okay.
and we haven't slowed down in business. We've picked up.
Yeah. Now, if you'd been told that a year ago, what would you have said?
I would have told them they were crazy. There's no way in hell anybody's going to pay that. I mean, if we're going in, the majority of air conditioner systems that we sold this year were 4 times the amount of what we did them the year before. And that first couple of them, when I go out to bid them and I'm in my head and I'm like, man, that's a lot of money, they're not going to buy it off on it, to where I could go in there and go, this is what I need and what my family needs and what my guys need to be successful, and all of us to enjoy our work and our home lives. And it is what it is. And people buy it off on it all the time. And then giving them options, right? I mean, not everybody wants the high-end stuff. So if we're laying out 4 options for them, going, hey, here's the cheapest price and here's the best price and all the value in between, they pick the higher ends all the time.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Fantastic. So you've taken on, lots more people.
Yeah. Have
you been through the usual pain of taking people on, and just talk to me a little about that? Because I remember there was concerns about how, the quality of techs, and I think that's generally what people have said. And as you grow bigger, you attract more better quality of tech. But yeah, didn't you not have to do something with the military? And just talk to us about that. I can't remember what you did.
Yeah, we didn't get too involved in that, but the VA has a program where a lot of guys that are getting out of the military or VAs, if you sign up with them, they'll pay those guys as apprenticeships, right? So we had one guy for the summer, but he wasn't that great a guy.
No.
They'll pay his wage for 2 years or 70% of it, right?
So, but as far as your hiring decisions go, did you have any pain? How did you decide?
Yeah, so I brought on Mike. Mike has been a friend of mine for years. He's, an HVAC educator and stuff like that in town. So he had that technical quality that I wanted. I had the sales quality that I wanted. So I brought him in, and he started running a lot of calls. Then we brought another guy in, and we go through those pains, right? We vet them, backgrounds, make sure everything's okay. We bring him on, we run him, and then we evaluate. If he's doing really good, then we keep pushing and go, hey, where can we help? Do you need more technical training? Do you need more sales training? And then, of course, we had the one guys that, just they won't change. They are who they are, and that's the way they are, and they go bye-bye really quick.
Okay.
That's the hardest thing. Because we are such a saturated market and there's not a lot of guys that are out there coming into the field, we'll grab somebody, whether they have knowledge or not, right? We can teach them. We just want to get them in and grow them as fast as we can. And if they don't work, get rid of them as fast as we can. So if we're revolving, I had 2 guys that I revolved in under a month, just because they weren't going to fit and they didn't want to change. Of course, we're giving them every opportunity, right? We have sales training videos and we have tech videos, and Mike and I are willing to stay late. We're willing to ride in the truck with them, do whatever they need to make them successful. And if they can't, then we get rid of them fast and cutting those ties. And that's a hard thing for me because I'm all about family. And when I hire a guy on, I want to make sure that I can provide for him, but he's also got to provide for me. So learning to cut those ties as quick as possible and just know, hey, business is business, was a hard thing for me too.
Yeah. So your own evolution, you started off talking about, you've been investing in yourself and thinking what you need. Would that Randy that you've just said, that you've just been talking about now, if they're not cutting it, I'll cut them out, without a shadow of a doubt. How long would that have taken you to do that a year ago?
Oh, I would have kept them on forever, right?
Yeah.
Just because I felt bad, and they're like, oh, they need a job and I need the help, and oh, well, he deals with a little problem here, a little problem there, but those problems never stop. They just keep coming and going, and it'll destroy us. That's what happened, this time last year, where I was at that point of, I'm done. You can't find anybody you trust, or that mindset of, I just beat myself up, right? So for me, I had to change it all to numbers. It's all numbers, and that's the relationship, right? We're going to be friends. We're going to be buddies. I'm going to treat you well. I'll give you some extra money to take your wife out if you're doing good, whatever. But it all comes down to the numbers. If those numbers start hindering the entire business, it's time to cut ties, and we should have done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and how well do you know your numbers now compared to a year ago before we met?
I know every penny of it. Every penny. I know what we're spending, how much our average ticket is, and how much that cost and profit margin is, and what our EBITDA is on it, and everything.
Right. And where were you a year ago?
I could pull my bank report and tell you how much money came in and how much went out,
Right.
where it went, how it got there. Yeah, no.
Right. And the difference in knowing your numbers, how has that helped you?
Outside of mindset, that's the number two thing, right? I mean, we can't move forward and we can't grow if we don't know what it's costing us to do that job. And it's not just the direct cost of that job. It's all the other stuff involved, and the vans and the trucks and the computers and the phones and software and insurance and all that stuff added in there that you don't think about. When I look at a furnace and I'm like, well, my cost is this, and we could sell it for this and make $1,000 today. Well, but we had, $2,000 in expenses go out that day. So, knowing that this is where we need to be. And if we're higher end on that all the time, we're not trying to grab every job. We're more selective. We know that we're making our margins, and we can keep moving forward with no stress.
Splendid. So another question I have for you is about, we've talked a little bit about your personal evolution, but how are you working harder now? Are you working more, or are you working less? And how are you spending your time in your business, and just generally your time, your free time, etc.? Are you worrying, stressed out, chilled out? Just give us a little bit about your evolution over the last year.
Yeah, so last year it was all stress, right? Stress research, on the internet, trying to figure stuff out, all that stuff. Now moving forward 12 months or even over the year, I don't carry tools in my truck anymore. I'll run calls maybe late at night, or like tomorrow's Thanksgiving here, so we might get one or two. I'll run those because I don't mind it. Plus it gets me away from all my sister-in-laws. But
you can't say that. Well, not out loud anyway.
So my free time, right? I'm hanging out with the boy and the kids, and we're out doing stuff. I'm playing video games with them in the evenings, which I don't really personally enjoy, but he does, right? So I get to do that. I'm still always on the go with the business, especially right now because we're fine tuning a lot of stuff. We're implementing new software. That's just who I am. I always have to be moving, but we've done it with such a focus that we've baselined everything we need here in Colorado Springs, and we're taking on 2 other markets, and we're in negotiations of taking over 2 companies in those areas.
So that sounds exciting. So you have sorted your life out in your own business to the point where you have got systems and processes in place which are working for you, profitable jobs, keeping your phone ringing. And your plan then now is to go outside of Colorado Springs and start to dominate there using what you've learned in the last year. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's a smaller, mountain area, but there's a lot of money up there. There's a lot of high-end houses, and there's not guys providing that value service. They're providing a repair. And they're older guys that are trying to get out, and nobody's moving in. And I already have one guy that lives up there. So for us to take our model here, add the high-end value that these clients are looking for, and spend a very small amount on budgeting to really dominate an area. Plus, it's such a small area that we can beta test a lot of stuff up there and see if it grabs without ruining a bigger market here. So yeah, that's our plan for the next 3 months. That'll all start Monday, this coming Monday. They'll start going live. I'll be up there the week after that because the guy that's there's looking at getting out. So we're talking about taking on his existing clients, which I don't know if there's much there, but we'll turn it into something. And then bring on his 2 guys that work for him. Okay.
So, and this is your big marketing thing you're dropping next week. That's what you were talking about as well, is that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So we have new websites going in, all kinds of marketing campaigns, landing pages. We're restructuring. I probably spent the last 4 months evaluating every company in town, and we're going to smoke them with all the warranties that we're going to put on stuff. I mean, they're not going to come anywhere near it. So that's where we're going to market that value of, hey, we're going to do something for you and we're going to stand behind it for a long time.
Fantastic. So what is the future for you?
Oh man. There I go shotgunning, just blasting out. But,
okay, go for it.
Yeah, really fine tuning, right? So we're going to grow here in Colorado Springs. We're going to grow up there in that market and probably move into more smaller markets off that way, and maybe move north towards Denver into the higher areas up there. That's kind of short term and real, narrow focus. Once we get to the point where, I don't have to be here every day and we're putting money in the bank, I will probably start traveling and, hit Kansas and those areas and the smaller areas with small guys and either try to partner in with them or take them out.
Right. Okay. So thank you for your time today. Right. What it would be interested to know is, you've worked with us for a while.
Yep.
And, with the program, what would you say has been the biggest benefit that you've had from the Foundation Kit program?
Mindset. Getting yourself right. It's the way you guys laid it out. It's easy. It's nice to absorb. It doesn't seem very mundane. Nick always keeps it pretty fun. So it's easy to just always have it and go back to it and refer to it and just give you more ideas. And then the value propositions. What are we giving our customers? We're kind, in my opinion, we're kind of in that time frame of where we should be offering service like they did in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, right? That everybody got away from. And that's where we're really forcing that. We're a lot of hand-eye contact with everybody. We're trying to touch everybody we can in every form that they need. And adding value outside. Because I think the HVAC industry has gotten so narrow-minded on just being repair and fix and you need us. Instead of us telling the customer, we need you and we want you to be healthy and we want you to have a good home and we want your kids to be healthy and we don't want them sick and, we want to save you money instead of going, yeah, we fix equipment. No, we fix your health and we fix your utility bill. That's what we're going after. So adding those values and everybody, not just me as an owner, but Mike and Tucker and these guys, they're watching videos while they're at home. I'm giving them access to whatever I can, or we'll watch them here in the office if we're slow that day because we made enough money the day before we can do that. And getting everybody on the same page and just making sure that we're there to serve them and provide the best service we can for their entire home, not just their problem they called us for.
Fantastic. So, just to summarize what we've talked about today, your number one thing was mindset.
Yep.
Which was manifested in focus. And your number two thing was know your numbers down to the penny.
Yeah.
And then, and those two things gave you confidence to 4 times your price. Just tell me again your billable hour, 334.
Yep, $334 a billable hour for just labor.
And last year you were doing that at 10 cents an hour.
Yeah, pretty much. It felt like it, right? Yeah.
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 Right. Okay. So, so fantastic. So just because people will be watching this, your story is really inspiring. You were, ready to quit to go and get a regular job, and just to make the dollar. But you
Right.
stuck with it. You change your mindset. You change your focus, and you now, on course to do $1 million. The last 2 weeks, you've closed deals worth $250,000, which you'll
Yeah, I
collect.
mean, we're right there at that $1 million mark for the year.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even that bad of a year. I mean, in my opinion, where I'm like, we didn't have a lot of go, 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 go. We were steady, and we did very minimal marketing because we were, analyzing everything we were doing. Now that we've done that and we have all this data and we have everything we have, we're going to hit January 1 so hard and so focused that, we set a goal for 5 million for next year just out of Colorado Springs.
Right. Wow. And you look like you're going to do it. You look like you expect to do it. You expect to do it, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I know all my numbers and I know my mindset's right, and it's very easy to achieve. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're dealing with pennies and dollars in your nickel and diming jobs, you're not looking at how easy it is to achieve 5 million. You think, God, it's this huge number. I'm shooting a goal for 5 million because that's what we project and what we could expect. But I'm going to fight, and I'm going to try to go 10 or 20.
Okay.
Right.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thank you very much for your time. I'm absolutely, really, really genuinely pleased for you and your family that you have, you've done the work, you've done the mindset work. And, that seems to be the biggest single shift. The guys that make the shift, do the mindset stuff, and realize that their own value. And because a lot of people have a false ceiling over themselves, around. And once you get rid of that, people say, once you get rid of that, the sky's the limit. But actually, you're living proof that it really is.
It is. I mean, in the biggest thing, when you put yourself around, like we join tons of groups with the biggest companies in the state. And when we're going to meetings or dinners and stuff like that, we're hanging out with these guys and you're looking across the table going, that guy's no different than me and he's worth $100 million. So why can't we do it? And then for me, I mean, we took 3 vacations this summer as a family, and I spent 2 weeks in Vegas at conferences, last month, and it didn't bother me. And I left, and I didn't have to call in every day and find out what's going on. They just took care of it. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So the personal difference in your quality of life as well has come with that shift of mindset.
Yeah, everything. The business, personal life, marriage, family, kids, relationships, all of it, just because of mindset.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. I love that. I love to hear that. So our mission, actually, I think I must have shared this with you, is to change people's lives. So we don't fix HVAC. We don't fix it, but you do. So, and if you have the certainty that you've got, you can grow your business with certainty. You can look after your family. You can look after your tech's families as well with certainty, and also you can do a cracking job for your customers. So, so it just seems like, so I have one relationship with you, and then, our company touches all the companies, all the people that your company touches. Do you see what I mean? So it's really, I don't know, I'd just love to hear you saying that, because it means that we, big tick for us, that we're doing what we want to do as well through you. So.
Yeah. The last thing on that, if I have a bad business because I don't know what's going on and I'm not in control of it, I'm stressed, right? And I ride on my technicians. They get stressed. They take that home to their families. They take it to the customers. I go home and I get yelled at. You work too much. It's not worth it. And the kids are like, Dad, when are you coming home? I mean, it's kind of fun. The aha moment that we made a huge change was when my 6-year-old little guy came out, I don't know, 3 months ago on a Saturday morning. And he goes, why are you home? Right? Well, why not, dude? I'm here. We're going to go ride bikes today. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
wow.
Right? yeah, why are you home? I'm home because we made some changes and I'm allowed to be home, and I want to be home. Right. So having the business structured properly and everybody having less stress and everybody getting treated properly, it just snowballs everywhere.
Yeah. Heartwarming story, that. Love it. So
Right.
listen, congratulations again. I'm sure you'll get to your 5 million. I'm confident that you will. And thank you again for your time. Any last words for people watching?
Mindset. Change your mindset. That's all it takes.
Okay. All right. Listen, Randy, thank you very much for your time. Keep smiling. No slacking.
Right.
Okay. Have a nice Thanksgiving tomorrow.
All right. You do the same.
And I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.